Alright, it's Jet back for grind number 14 on Deneb, wherein I will continue to yak at you about economics, or the economic ecosystem as I like to call it. Because, wow, excuse me, holy frig. Holy frigate indeed. Whoa, whoa, will you stay back? Why do they run in circles now? Oh my gosh. I would not want to die. Oh. Bear with me. God, I thought there was a ghast for a second, which doesn't make any sense, but who cares? I wouldn't mind seeing ghasts in the real world. Real world, I said. Right. Come on. I did take these with me, didn't I? Okay. Let me just get rid of some of this stuff, actually. Well, there is some lag all of a sudden. Look at this. 3 more saddles. 13. Oh, you know what? I'm out of those. Dang it. I don't want to be out of those. You know what? I don't like horses. I'm going to bring those back with me. I'm going to bring these back with me. Oh, chests. I didn't realize. I'm going to bring these back with me. I'm going to bring back some of this for caffeine. That should be good. Good enough. All right, let's leave this for a little bit. So, the day before yesterday and yesterday, I got into the woeful state of American and global economics, because the two are difficult to separate these days. And my preposition's not the right word. Right now we have the worst of both worlds. Basically, just to recap yesterday a little bit, we have really, really high efficiency and productivity, and while there's always room for improvement there, the fact of the matter is that because we define people's lives by paychecks, this is actually really horrible for the economy. The fact that we have Walmarts and Amazons who can do huge amounts of stuff on very little and very low standard labor, as produced by overseas manufacturing, which has, practically slave labor, at least by the quality of life that those laborers are suffering. It's about as close as you can get these days. It's really bad. So, the thrust of yesterday's assertion was that if you're going to have a paycheck economy, you have to have good jobs, and you can't have good jobs without a certain amount of inefficiency. Leave everything local as much as possible. Be local, run by small businesses who can't do as much as a big business, but do it with much more labor and on higher wages, just like we used to do. And any argument that you say, well, but we're in a global world now. No, we were always in a global world. We've had trade for all of human history. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad, but what you do is you have tariffs to sort of equalize things. So you can't prioritize trade from nations who have bad records, abusive records, over your own local labor, which is what we're doing right now. Because there's no incentive to prioritize our own people and our own labor. Oh crap. I have nowhere to go. I can hardly move. Okay, I can run now. That's better. So, having covered that yesterday, I wanted to start getting into an alternative. Now, basically, let me reiterate. My assertion was that if you have, you can continue to have a paycheck economy as long as you give good wages and prioritize local over global. Because all those other nations, they have local too. And you can trade for the few things that other groups, the other groups do not have. research like bananas. You can't grow bananas here, maybe, or at least not my neck of the woods. So you can trade for those. It's just, for the most part, if you can make furniture locally, you should. Now the alternative is, or the reason I'm torn about all this is because in an industrial world, that's dirty and expensive and not good for the environment. So we've come to this point now where what's good for the environment is bad for workers. And of course, I almost wonder if that's not by design, because with workers, the average people, against doing the right thing ecologically, because that means their jobs might go away. The people who profit from this entire scenario, they have, the very people they're abusing will have their backs in this, because they don't want to have to be responsible and take care of the environment, because that means they won't make as much profit. They'll make profit, just not as much as they used to, which is basically the same gist as the other, back when we had good refereeship, as I'm calling it. So I'm missing one. Night vision. Okay. I feel like there's one missing. Not sure what I want to do with this. I will give it as a gift. So the alternative is, let us have an ecologically sound, highly productive, highly efficient economy that you do everything you can on the least amount of energy consumed, the least amount of time consumed. Super efficient. It can be done. We're proving it now. You can have most things made by robotic assembly lines. You can extract resources in efficient ways that are not dirty. There is a lot you can effectively do. Apparently she doesn't need more of those. But she could use this. And how about a spare regen? And an egg. How about an egg? Okay, I know Kalksnar was out, wasn't he? I'll give him some. So yeah, if you're going to have a highly efficient, super productive economy, you can't have many jobs. They're incompatible right now. Okay? That's unavoidable. So what do? Do you prioritize the long-term survival of the species or jobs? Well, some decades back, people were doing the math and realized that we should be they were predicting we would be, and by now should long have been in a sort of leisure economy. Or very laid-back economy where people work 10, 15 hours a week, have everything they need, are very comfortable. Most things, stressful things in our lives are dealt with. The sources of stress are dealt with. That could have been true. There was nothing preventing that from being true other than greed by the sociopaths. And yes, that seems to be my favorite word right now. I do apologize. But so yeah, what do is you either change money or you get rid of it. And my assertion would be you do change money. You have more than, or basically say, the necessities of life, which actually I should be defining right now in this episode. Then there are certain necessities in life. You have to eat. Nothing you can do about it. You have to eat. I'm just thinking. It's getting dark. Oh, well, I'm alone on the server. That's fine. You know what? Let me collect a few things. Oh, very nice. 15. You gotta eat. You gotta sleep. You have to rest. Well, same thing as sleep. You gotta have water. You have to have shelter. And you even need emotional stability, which means you have to have fun. You have to have interaction with other people. There's a lot you need. And frankly, some of those things are not being allowed us because our lives are so stressed out because right now we are prioritizing the ultra rich over everyone else. We're working so hard. I mean, the Japanese have this concept of kaizen, which actually kind of they work. They do a lot of work, but they do very productive work and in a way that is not super stressful. They look at us and they wonder why we are so insane with the amount of work and the amount of stress we apply to our work that we go through. They have a point, and yet for the being less stressed and whatever they have, their economy you could say has been in this long-term recession. The thing is, it's actually healthy, and it has achieved this thing that we have to understand in life is that there's a cycle. A thing is born, an invention, an economy, a nation. It grows rapidly. It learns. Makes mistakes. It grows up, and then it reaches adulthood, and it doesn't grow anymore, and it matures, and it reaches a stasis, a stable homeostasis, a place that is not unhealthy. And right now we have instead this mantra being thrown at us every day: gotta have growth, gotta have growth. Even I generally support Obama, but even he succumbs quickly to using the term growth as a means of getting out of our economic problems, and that's just not true. Individual companies need to be born, grow, reach a good long period of stableness, and then die out, as technology inevitably will catch up with that company. These Disney business and stuff that has to stop. It has to go away. Something has to have the opportunity to be able to take over for it with fresh ideas and fresh employment and anyways, what I'm suggesting, I guess, is that we redefine how our nations and our economies work so that the necessities of life are a given. They are not questionable. If you don't have a paycheck, you don't have a job right now, you still are not going to be worrying about where food comes from, and you're not going to have to worry about whether or not you're going to be out, in the warmth in the winter and out of the rain in the summer. None of that is in question. By the way, I made this road a lot. They don't even know why I'm going this way. Why am I going this way? I guess so I can focus. Here, tour of the road. This is the South Road. It gets better. I just don't have any cobbled work on it right now. I do like these bird stands. Anyways, and then, but the thing is, there are things that need to be done. A road, if you have a road, you want to use a road. A road doesn't stay a road forever. If you neglect it, it falls apart. Weather, especially up like in my native New England, where temperatures vary by from minus 20 Fahrenheit to plus 100 Fahrenheit, 120 degree range over the course of a year, sometimes over the course of a few days. It has happened. I've even seen minus 70 with wind chill, to be fair. I don't think the road cares about wind chill quite so much. But see, I did do some extra work in certain spots. I'm not sure I like the style, but it's good for now. Oh, here's where it ends. Did I leave myself enough materials to keep going? I don't know that I did. Ooh, okay. Let's do some work. You could see... Ooh, I did not bring... You know what? I don't want to do that too much. Doink, 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 there. I should have brought an axe. I could probably make one. So, I think there. Let me just make a few assertions. People need these necessities of life, and the world needs people to do a certain amount of work. These are two unavoidable things. So, right now, the assertion is basically that, well, how do you convince people to not be lazy and just sit around the house all day, play a PS4 or PS10 or whatever by then, if they don't have to work to survive? And, some people are going to do that. Some people will be satisfied doing nothing and not really contributing. And there's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that. I still think that is better. Can I reach it? Yes. But I don't want to keep doing that. Oh, I don't want to jump across either. Got more trees ahead of me. Here we go. Sorry, folks. So, I'm still thinking here. My apologies. I do have to think and work at the same time. So, my theory, my hypothesis, this is my theory. Theory is the observation, the attempt to explain an observed fact. And this isn't an observed fact. This is a complete shot in the dark that may or may not be good. But I do recognize, at the very least, there is something very wrong with our ecosystem as it is. Economic ecosystem. And ecological as well. Anyways, my idea for this then becomes... Actually, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. I'll make a whole week of economics for the most part. I do apologize. But, yeah. I'll continue talking a little bit about the necessities, because we need people to maintain things, we need people to grow food, we need people to invent, we need people to look after one another. None of these things can really be questioned. We need all this stuff, and they are work. But if you're if you want to, oh crap, well, okay, I'll deal with that later. I'm just gonna see how far. Oh friggin', okay. Dang it. So, oh geez, I'm glad I looked. I guess I'm looking for a hybrid economy where the necessities of life, the barest necessities of life, shelter and food and free time and interactivity with other people, are human rights that cannot be taken away for lack of money or work. And I think actually this will be very healthy for society as a whole, because you've essentially taken away the things people are afraid of. And if you've taken away the things that people are afraid of, they're not lashing out at one another. They don't feel cornered. The only people left who do harm really are psychopaths. And this kind of society, this kind of ecosystem, will point out exactly who psychopaths are, and then you can deal with them. You can say, well, should they be punished? Should they be assisted, with medication or surgery or I don't know what? Not my area of expertise. Not that I really have one. I'm sort of a jack of all trades, and that has good and bad. I should probably count to see how long that is. But if people are not afraid, they become a lot less gullible. That's not true. When people aren't afraid, they get complacent, and that is its own form of gullibility. But when people are afraid, they get tribal, and they'll believe things they wouldn't normally believe because they want the protection of the person who's telling them this thing. And that has been a long and heavily exploited flaw in the human animal, I guess, the human mindset. So, safe people, or people who feel safe, are more likely to stand up for themselves. When someone comes along who tries to exploit them, they have the self-security to say, no, I don't buy it, I don't have to listen to you, go away. You sort of take away the only leverage that some of the sickos out there actually have over us. So in that respect, it's very healthy. But at the same time, like I said, you don't want to incentivize people to not contribute. You want contribution because a certain amount of maintenance and invention and growth and destruction and all that stuff has to be present for things to work. So tomorrow I will get into my idea for the sort of hybrid economy idea of how to get people to contribute when they don't have to. Alright, so I hope this one was long enough. It might be a little short, and tomorrow's might be a little short too, but these don't have to be a certain length, right? Just as long as I cover a topic and show you a little bit of what's going on in my world. Right, so thanks for watching. Please come again tomorrow, and after that, have a good weekend.